I have made a $150 mistake.
Hey, I'm Issa and I'm learning to convert this van all by myself while traveling out of it as much as possible.
I measured multiple times and I cost myself $150 because of 1.5 inches, and that's pretty significant. Can I make it work the way it is? Probably. I really don't want to though. And I was so anxious to start working on this van and getting on the roof and cutting the holes. I really just did not lay out this roof great. I mean, I think it would have been cool if I'd moved my fan forward more. So basically, if this guy was up one more bump there, would have been possible. It's fine though, because it's gonna, I think, work pretty nice as it is. It's gonna be right where my kitchen area is. But had I done that, had I really considered the solar panels, I could have fit more solar panels. And my initial philosophy was put the things that are important to me on the roof where I want them and then see what solar panels fit. Looking back now, I could have made do differently. I really thought I thought this out, but fudge muffins, I did not. So let's show you the mistake. My roof hatch. This is the area I had planned. I had this template that I used for the cutout that's based on what I need for the hatch. I centered it in this area because, I don't know if you can see, but this is where it's got like this little small shorty rib area, and it's almost like it's designed to have another cutout here. You can put them anywhere, it's just the way the ribs are. And so in my mind, visually, I saw this and I thought, that's where I should put it. I went inside, I marked the template, I have my center point. Inside it looked good. I've got this really awesome adapter and it cost me $150. It's laser printed and I cannot remember the material. And it's got these, it's really hard to see, but it's got these perfectly fit grooves based on where I told them this hole would go. They made this beautifully to fit my hatch. It fits right in the area that I measured, but somehow it's still off. And that is not their fault, it's actually mine. And what I need this to do is come up here. And I was trying to figure out if there's a way that I can router out maybe to make this fit. I don't have a lot of faith in myself in that. I could spend another $150 frickin' dollars to get the correct piece. And I don't love that idea, but I did just work a 14-hour shift yesterday and I picked up a little extra money for that. So I guess maybe that's where the money could come from. Stupid. Such a stupid mistake. And I just, it's not just measure twice, cut once. It's look at the bigger picture while you're measuring. And I'll show you what I didn't account for downstairs that is really changing up this whole thing. I want to show you what made me realize I made the mistake. I had cut out my template. It's super hard to see. Here's the line. So I had measured on the roof. I'd looked at this inside. I knew this was that cutting area just based on where those ribs were spaced out. Got the center point for the whole cutout, made sure they matched up on top as best I could. Once I got the trim ring, I realized I was okay to make the cut hole. It's right along this rib line. I was okay to do that. The issue I didn't think of is I need to have my frame, and there's no space for a frame to go in here. So I've had to move this. I haven't had to, I've decided to move this over, and it's ended up being 1.25 inches difference. So this is going to be centered more between these ribs versus centered to the ribs on the cutout looking area on the roof. So that's why I'm moving it, because of these ribs and fitting in a frame around it. So today, if I'm adventurous, I'm going to learn the Craig jig and do a frame. Also, to help you visualize, so this is where the hole was going to be before. This is just my cardboard template. I have no space here to add a frame. That space is just far too small for a piece of wood to adhere to other ones with what I feel comfortable with. And I have so much more space here. This is not centered at all between the ribs. So it is now going to be centered. It's going to look more like this, and it has more space for me to put the frame. This is another good lesson in trusting your gut. These days leading up to, I knew I wanted to cut into my roof today, but I just kept feeling like something's off. Like I don't feel ready. It wasn't a procrastination feeling. It just like something was like off. So even though I came today to cut my roof, I really didn't think I would. And I gave myself the space to like not stress about it. And I'm so glad I did, because now I feel like it feels good. I know this is the right spot for it. And just trust your gut. Your body's telling you stuff. Listen to, do you feel contracted? Or do you feel like, yeah? Now I feel, yeah, for the hatch. Before I was like, oh. So listen to that. So this is where my previous dimensions were. Let's see, yeah. So that's the difference. That cost me $150. $150 lesson. Yay. I am going to be working on the trim ring for this hatch. And I've decided to use, this is 3/4 by 1.5 poplar trim, because I will eventually have a blind screen structure that will go over here, and I want to do this trim so that I can have something for the screws from the other side, from the basically the ceiling of the roof of the fan to come into, as well as something for the blind trim to go into. So this is the hatch. The opening here is 16.5 by 16.5 each way. It's a nice little square. So I'll have this ready. I'm going to pre-drill, and then I've also got my flange or trim ring to make the roof flat that'll pre-drill as well. I'm also going to be using a Craig jig for the first time, which I'm excited about. Not perfect, but it's as perfect as I'm getting. So I'm measuring this part between these two. Good morning. I am trying to hurry and get on this roof and get this roof hatch done. It's hard to climb a ladder with a camera mount in the other hand. I am just going to do a quick tap in that center punch area, make sure it's good to go. I'm gonna double check the weather because it's still early and there's clouds in the sky, but after my last roof debacle, I don't really trust anything. Precipitation 0. Says it's gonna be cloudy today. Phoenix weather. Looks like the clouds are going to clear off. They're going to clear off like this afternoon. Okay, good. I like some good cloud coverage as long as it's not raining on me. I know it's 16.5 by 16.5. I've already marked it out. I'm just going to quadruple bajillion check. And you can see the grooves that are meant specifically for these ribs. It doesn't need to cover this one because it's open, but you get the idea. Looks like right here is center. Give it the old eyeball test. Here is my center hole punch. It looks really good. I'm gonna measure it next. Just was measuring to make sure that the wood frame pieces I have are going to fit within that, and everything is looking good so far, so off we go. This is the box that the adapter piece came in, and so I'm just taping this back to the roof to help protect against the metal shaving. Well, I don't have a helping hand, so thought that ladder that didn't work for me in the first place to get onto the roof was a great way to hold up a couple boxes to hold in this box here to keep all the metal shavings and the cutout part to drop into. So that actually worked out nicely. have the hole cut in the roof for the hatch. I'm so tired. It's about 11:30 right now, and I started this project at 6 this morning. I was up at 4 this morning, and my intent was to have this banged out by 8 a.m. But this required a lot of fine tuning with the jigsaw, and the sun, of course, came out about 9 o'clock when it started hitting me. It was cloudy in the morning, which was really welcome, but the sun just came blazing hot. So once again, just super hot on the top of the van. We ended up going to work on the frame, had a lot of failure with that. The poplar wood was too hard. I couldn't drill into it, even though I had pre-drilled. Also, I was using some really soft-headed screws. You wanna come here? Yeah, so failed with the frame, and then I realized the first mistake I had made with this roof hatch with the wrong frame actually is gonna make, I'm hoping, a great internal frame instead. I just flipped it to put the flat side up. Same thing that the wood was gonna do. It's a little bit thinner. It's about a ½ inch to a ¼ inch in spots, depending, and that's fine. All I need is for something for the screws to further sink into. I'm gonna have my ceiling up beyond that as well. So I guess I made my $150 mistake worth it. Good morning. So this is day 2, and I didn't finish yesterday. Somehow I lost a screw, and so I need to put this one in. I did pre-drill it last night though. And I lost daylight yesterday. And that was just related to the cure time needed for the adhesive. So I did get a lot of the lap sealant on, but I'd actually like to put more on. I just really want to make sure this is watertight. And I don't have a lot of reference for people installing these on their roof, so gonna do the best I can. Also, I made a pretty decent mess yesterday. I've got a lot of Dicor smudges and stuff, so I'm gonna try to clean those up, but my real priority is just to put more of this lap sealant down. So what I wanna do is actually take this lid off to just really give my sealant some coverage. That's it. Owie. Okay, I cannot get these adjusted. So I'm not going to fight this, especially on this precarious position I am in the roof. So I'm just going to recommend, if you're doing this, take the lid off first. Yeah, dang it. Okay, holy nervous sauce. There's, I think, 18 inches of room that I'm maneuvering about 9.5 feet up on my van here. I'm gonna finish up the lap sealant, make sure everything is covered, and let my nerves settle. Please always remember, this is not a how-to. This is how I do. That does not make it right. So expand and make what I do better if you ever do anything like this. I just did something super stupid, and I tried to pull the last remaining part of this screw bit that I was cutting off, and instead I damaged my finger. I think I'm gonna have a pretty, let's see if you can, probably not gonna focus, but those white marks correlate to the screw lines, and that was pretty painful. The hatch is in. I made a handful of mistakes. One of them was I ended up cutting the trim area a little too small. I should have cut bigger than initially, but I guess better too small than too big. Should have taken the lid off. It hinges. I could have taken that off ahead of time. Just didn't even think of that or even realize I could take just that whole part off. There was nothing I could do about the cure time. It just took me a long time. I had to wait for the adapter piece to cure before I could proceed with the rest of my build. A win is using the old adapter for an inner frame because I had a lot of issues with the wood frame. Let's water test. Here's hoping. Come here, come here. And there he goes. Such good training. Dirt. Oh, are you the boy? Are you the boy? Are you the boy? The high pitch airplane go through. Yeah, I don't know what that measurement's supposed to be. I'd have to do it. You just put another friggin' hole in your van.